Hello, we are live. Good morning, everyone. Glad to have you here. Thanks for joining. Today we're going to do day 4 of Advent of Code. We got in 6 stars out of 50, and our challenge for today is to get another +2. Yesterday was fun. We got off the mountain. The challenge was we had a map which consisted of empty spaces and trees, and we had tobogans with different slopes, and we had to get off the map and count off the trees we into and multiply those values together. And it was really fun. We did it in about an hour, just over an hour. And without further ado, let's get into day 4. If you're watching, say hi in the chat. I'll keep an eye on the chat. And uh, if I'm stuck anywhere, I'll be surely asking for help. Hi, Lars. Great to have you here again. Yeah, let's get to it. Day 4, passport processing. You arrive at the airport. Finally, we can get to the more warmth places of the planet. Um, Only to realize that you grabbed your North Pole credentials instead of your passport. North Pole credentials. While these documents are extremely similar, North Pole credentials aren't issued by a country and therefore aren't actually valid documentation for travel in most of the world. Uh-oh. It seems like you're not the only one having problems, though. A very long line has formed for the automatic passport scanners, and the delay could upset your travel itinerary. Ooh, we don't want to miss our flight. Due to some questionable network security, you realize you might be able to solve both of these problems at the same time. Are we going to get into hacking? The automatic passport scanners are slow because they're having trouble detecting which passports have all required fields. Bad machines or bad programmers. The expected fields are as follows: BYR, birth year, issue year, expiration, height, hair color, eye color, passport ID, and country ID. Passport data is validated in batch files, which is a puzzle input. Each passport is represented as a sequence of key value pairs separated by spaces or new lines. Passports are separated by blank lines. All right, here's an example batch file containing 4 passports. Let's see, ECL, GRY, PID a number, EYR another number, HCL, L, I think that's hair color. Oh, I see. Let's make sense out of this. So it's ECL eye color, gray, PID passport ID, expiration year, hair color. Oh, so that's interesting. Eye color is a shortcut of the color name, gray, and then the hair color is a hex value. Birth year, issue year, and then CID stands for country ID, and HGT for height. All right, and then we get a new set. But where's the passport? Oh, that's the passport ID. Okay. So passport data is validated. Each passport is a sequence of key value pairs separated by spaces or new lines. Passports are separated by blank lines. Okay, that's good to know. We'll need to delimit the file with blank lines. Blank lines. The first passport is valid. All 8 fields are present. The second passport is invalid, is missing height. Yes, it does. The third passport is interesting. Okay, the only missing field is CID, which stands for country ID. So it looks like data from North Pole credentials, not a passport at all. Okay, so if the data doesn't have a country ID, it's a North Pole credentials instead of a passport. So it's not valid. Surely nobody would mind if you made the system temporarily ignore missing CID fields. Oh, here's the hacking part. Treat this passport as valid. Okay, so we do consider it valid though, even though it's missing country ID. So all the fields need to be there, except country ID can be missing. Otherwise, it's invalid. And yeah, the fourth passport is missing 2 fields, country ID and birth of year. Missing country ID is fine, but missing any other field is not. So this passport is invalid. According to the above rules, your improved system would report 2 valid passports. That's good. Count the number of valid passports. Those that have all required fields, treat CID as optional. In your batch file, how many passports are valid? This seems pretty straightforward. Let's do it. We're gonna get our puzzle input. It's a huge file, passports. A lot of people waiting in the line here at the airport. Let's save it in our working folder, which is somewhere in here. Okay, I've got it opened up in VS Code here. I'm going to remove the last new line just so we're not tripping over that. Okay. And I already copied the setup code from last day, which reads in the file. We're going to name this passport data. And we're going to start with solution for the first part. We're going to put that in here. All right. So we have a bunch of passport data, which are separated by blank lines. So let's try and get an array of passport data. So we'll parse the read-in file by splitting a new line, but that's not going to be enough because this is a new line as well. So this needs to be a blank line. How about 2 new lines followed? 2 consecutive new lines? Is that going to work? Let's console log what we have in here. Node day 4 index.js. Is this right? Doesn't seem like it. Does it? Oh, it does. I think, yeah, this looks good. It's just it's kind of like the individual array item is split into 3 strings because they're on a separate line. But that looks good for now, I think. Yeah. We can further parse this by saying so what we need to do is let's actually fix this fix an individual passport data by concatenating everything in one string and then removing the new lines, perhaps replacing them with spaces. So we just have one long line for each password with all the data. That'll make our life easier. I think they did this on purpose to make the puzzle more challenging, because they could have just gotten us all the data in one line. So we'll passports. We'll say passports.map. Passport. We need to return passport. So that's gonna be, what is passport anyway? Well, it's I think I know. It's not. It can't be 3 strings. Can it? It's just 1 string. I think it's fine. I think that's how the terminal outputs strings that are. How can we have? Trying to understand how can we have an item that's an expression. This can't be right. I'm just gonna try and we need to assign these to I'm gonna try and just replace all. Can I use replace all? I don't have node 15 though. I might just install node 15 for this challenge. npm install node 15. Is it like this? Is this the syntax? Nope. Maybe add 15. ls. Oh, okay. So I need to. There's a bunch of node versions. I could use regex as well instead of replace all. I could use regex with a global modifier. I'm trying to avoid regex. And the latest Node version has replace all, which is a new method in JavaScript syntax. So I'm just gonna install really quick. npm install v15.3.0. Let's get it in. Now using node 15. Great. This should work then. Replace all new lines with just spaces. And then let's log passports, see what we get now. Oh, this looks nice. Yeah, perfect. Awesome. So what I think it was is in the previous output, I don't know if I can, yeah, in the previous output, this is just one long string, but because I don't know why, for some reason, the terminal decided to split the string and then just like concatenate it like this. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, this which we wanted now. We have for each passport we have one liner with all the data and their key value pairs for each data item, and they're separated by spaces. So that's something we can work with for sure. What we need to do now is we need to validate that each passport has all the key value pairs, and what we need to find out how many passports are valid. Okay, so similar to yesterday, I'm going to use a filter function. Actually, I can just append this to the previous part, and we can work with that. Const, and I'll just do valid passports because we're talking about valid passports now. I'm going to use the filter function to only filter out the passports that are valid and remove those that are not. And then I will simply do count the number of valid passports in the array, and that's going to give us the answer that we're looking for. So filter. Let's see. What I can do, first of all, I can just let's get all the key value pairs by splitting the passport data by spaces. We'll start with that. Passport data. Actually, we already have this variable named here. Let's rename this to passports data, which is passports. Is that better? Passports. No. Yeah, passports data. This one is passport. These are our key value pairs. That's better. And then we'll split this by space, and we should get an array with key value pairs. What I can do is, so how many key value pairs do we need to have for a valid passport? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And country ID is optional. So we can say if it's not 8, if the length, if the amount of key value pairs, if key value pairs dot length is smaller than 8, and there's no country ID in it because that's optional. So it can be 7. Well, no. If it's smaller than, wait, I know what. If it's smaller than 7, if you have 6 items, then it's not valid anyway at all, because we might be missing country ID, but also we're missing something else that we need to have. So we can just straight out say if there's less than 7 key value pairs, it's invalid. So we're going to return false here. I'll refactor this in a bit, so it's going to be less verbose and looking neater. But now I'm just going to stick with this. Okay, key value pairs, and then if it's less than 7, and now if it's less than 8, which means that it's if we get to this point, then we have 7 items basically. If it's less than 8 and it does not have CID, country ID, that means we're missing a different value, which renders the passport invalid anyway. But now we need to get, well, I can just do key value pairs find. I think JavaScript has a find method. Pretty sure about that. I'm gonna make sure. Find, array find. What does it say? The find method returns the value of the first element in a provided array that satisfies the provided testing function. I see. Includes. That's better. Includes. Method determines whether an array includes a certain value among its entries. Returning true or false is as appropriate. And I think it needs to be exact. Yep. It needs to be the exact value. So what we have now is we have an array with this item, and so forth. And what I need to do is I don't know what's going to follow after CID, so I just need to grab the what are these called? Required field. Yeah, I just need to grab the field identifier, whatnot. Yeah, field identifier, and then I can work from there. So let's do another, add another thing here, and say map key value pair, or just key value pair. Yeah, key value pair. And I'll say key value pair split by a colon. And then we should get a 2-dimensional array. Let's log it here so we don't get too far off without knowing what we are dealing with. I'm gonna comment this one out. Let's comment this bunch out as well. Okay, I think we should get, so yep, we're getting a 2-dimensional array. The outer array is just the passport data, and the inner array is the first element in the array is the field identifier, and then the field value, so the key and a pair, basically. Key and a value, yeah. So we grab the key, and then we need to find if we find the CID. Okay, so what we need to do, going back here, I need to find within the array if there's another array. How am I gonna do this in code? So we got an array, and we need to assert that the first element is there's somewhere in here that's the first element is a string with CID. So I guess I could just say includes. Includes is gonna. I can only use includes for values. Yeah, I cannot assert a different array. Plus, I don't even know what the second element in the array is gonna be like. I'm afraid I'll have to use a loop here. I could use a map as well. Trying to see how that's gonna work. It would be cool to use a map for this one. I've been using loops every day until now. For loops, imperative for loops. It would be cool to use a map for once. Let's see. We're gonna store the field identifiers into a map. Use .sum. That may be something. Let's see. Method test whether at least one element in the array passes the test provided by the function. Genius! Thank you, Lars. Why did I forget about sum? I know there's, yeah, I knew about sum because there's like the opposite, all, no, not all, but that all the elements assert true. But this is, I think this is what I need because I can give it a function, and then in that function I can grab the actual field. Yeah, that is awesome. Thanks for. It was what you said. Need to find some entry. Yeah, yeah. I think if I'd record myself and rewatch, and I would definitely have an eureka moment. Like, yeah, you're just actually saying the actual function in your sentences. Okay. Is CID present? And we're going to do key value pairs sum key value pair, and then but I need to do another loop. Oh yeah, yep. And then inside here I'm just gonna say key value pair do I need to use two sums? Could be key value. Wait a second. No, that's not true. What is this? Key value pair is just this, right? So if yeah, if the first, can I just go like that, equals CID, first element CID, then we find it true? I have no idea. Let's console log it. Is CID present? And then we'll just log the key value pairs before that as well. Let me comment this part out. It's invalid code. Okay. So false. That's correct. False. False. True. Hey, it's working. True. All right. Yeah. This is a good example of I have no idea why it works. Just correct guessing. It was literally a guess. Like I have no idea if this is gonna work or not, but it really does. Yeah, then I can just shorthand this a little bit, and this looks pretty neat. Thank you for suggesting that, Lars. Yeah, you saved me quite some time here. Appreciate it. Good idea. Key values length. Okay, and so if we have less than 8 fields and CID is not in there, why is it still not? Oh, wait, yeah. And CID is not in there, then it means we're missing a different field and the passport is indeed invalid. And otherwise, we end up with passports that either have 8 fields, all of them, so they're valid, or 7 fields without country ID, which makes them valid as well, because that's optional. So we just return true. Because when we're at this point, there's just valid passwords. And I think that's it. I'm gonna refactor this into a short one-liner. So we need to return false for the first one and true. Yeah, we're kind of going the other way around about it. Yeah, it's easier to just return if we would have, the logic would have been the other way around. I can do that. Let's say if key value pairs length equals 8, we have all the fields, so that's true. Or then it's a valid password. Or if key value pairs length is equal to 7 and we'll wrap this in parentheses and CID present, then we also have valid password. Ooh, I think this is this gives us the same thing. I'm going to leave this in here just to, and I'm going to console log both results just to make sure that we didn't make any Boolean logic mistakes. I always trip over those mistakes. Boolean logic, sometimes easy, sometimes not that easy. Let's log how many valid passwords we end up with. 129, and using this solution, wait, yeah, 129, yeah, this is the same thing. Great, let's remove that. We made our code much shorter and much easier to read. Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with this result. If this gives us the correct answer, then I'm pretty satisfied with how it's going so far today. Answer part 1, 129. Let's try this and see if it's indeed the correct answer. Exciting. Submit. It's not. Too low. Let me see. Let's start some debugging. Okay, so it's too low. So I'm missing. I'm ditching some. I'm ditching some valid passwords that should be in here, but I'm considering them invalid for some reason. If password has 8 fields, then it's valid. Or if password has 7 fields, oh, wait a second, that's not correct. If password has 7 fields and okay, let's reason about this. If a password has all the fields, it's a valid passport. If passport has a missing field, it's only valid if that missing field is the country ID. So this means, so if the passport has a missing field, it's missing one field, and CID is not present, then it's a valid password. Yeah. Let me think a bit more if this makes sense. And if it's anything else, if it's missing 2 fields, it's invalid anyway. Yeah, I think we just had to negate the variable here. Small mistake. This should give us this should be good. Yes, we are good. 7 stars in. Awesome. Part 2. This is going at a decent speed. Great. Where's part 2? Ooh, that's a long piece of text. Okay. Let's continue with part 2. Yay! Are you as happy as I am? Awesome. Part 2. The line is moving more quickly now. Which line? Oh, the Q, right. I think in the yeah it's British or American spelling, but in England they will say Q. Line of folks is moving more quickly now, but you overhear airport security talking about how passports with invalid data are getting through. Uh-oh, we're getting caught. Better add some data validation, quick. You can continue to ignore the CID field, but each other field has strict rules about what values are valid for automatic validation. Oh, this is, I'm foreseeing a lot of code to be, we have to write a lot of code here. Okay, so for a birth year, it needs to be 4 digits, at least 90, yeah. The birth year needs to be between 1930 and 2002. The issue year needs to be newer than 2020. Expiration year needs to be less than 2030. The height is a number followed by either centimeters or inches. If centimeters, oh, there's going to be a lot of ifs involved here in the code. At least 150, at most 193. Oh, if you're taller than 193, you're not allowed to board the airplane. That's not a very nice airport. Inches, okay, hair color. It needs to be a valid hex value. Eye color needs to be one of these values. So people with different eye colors are not allowed either. Passport ID, 9-digit number, including leading zeros. Ooh, interesting. Including leading zeros. I'll just stick to a string then, and then count the string length, and then we won't have leading zeros issues if I parse an integer. That should be good. Ignored, missing or not. Okay, your job is to count the passports of all required fields are both present and valid according to the above rules. Here are some example values. Valid, invalid, valid, invalid. Yeah, so the birth year is this person is too young to board the airplane. This person is way too tall in inches, and this height is missing a whether it's inches or centimeters, a measurement unit. These are this a hex value. This isn't because Z is not hex. Okay, you see all eye color. What? What eye color is invalid? And this one is invalid because it has 10 digits. Here are some invalid passports. Here are some valid passports. Some folks use this data for their tests. So they write test first, use this data, and then where their test passes, they confirm their algorithms are working. I'm not wouldn't bother with tests today, or maybe even at all. So I'm just jumping straight to the value and console logging, debugging as we go. That's a bit more of cowboy coding. Count the number of valid passports, those that have all required fields and valid values. Continue to treat country ID as optional. In your batch file, how many passports are valid? Still the same input. Okay. Let's go to part 2. What I want to do is extract some data in here so I can reuse it in part 2. I'm going to rename this to passport data singular. And in here, I'm going to say passport data filter passport. Wait a second. Because for the second part, I need all of this. I need the key value pairs. I need to figure out if country ID is present, and I need to do a bunch of other stuff as well. But I do need the key value pairs. I wanted to reuse that. This is just for the first part, so I wanted to like say, but the variable naming is getting me confused again. I'm so bad at naming variables. Passports data, the input. Why don't I just call this input? Input. And then this is an array, or with each array item being a passport. Yeah, each array item is the data for one single passport. So we can say passports. That's good. And then inside there as well, we need to do the we need to move up these parsing stuff. Actually, no. Just the key value pairs, because this still needs to be at the bottom here. Let me see what I'm doing here is right. So then we end up with, yeah, passports. That's good. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say passports filter passport. And I can move this stuff up down here, and I can get rid of this one. If I would be using Prettier, it would just like auto format this for me. Okay, so we have passport. We're not using passport here. No, did I? Yep. Let's see if we still get the right answer. No. Can I read properties sum of undefined? I messed up in my refactoring here. Passport. So we replace, so we have here, yeah, that's good. Yeah, we did that. We replaced the new lines with spaces. So we have one array without the new lines. And then we can say split by new space, by space. And then map. And then we do a map of each. So then we have key value pairs. And then we need to return this, of course. There's our mistake. And then we have passport sum, key value pair. Okay, is this good? It's working, but we get a completely different answer now. That's not right. Let me console log in here. Oh, this is setting me back a bit, this refactoring thing. Why? So that's what I was expecting. Passport sum, key value pair, key value pair. What I can do as well, oh, I can get really fancy in here. I'm gonna do this in a bit. Key value pair 0 equals CID. Is CID present? Oh wait, because I forgot to rename these variables as well. No, still 254. That's not the right answer. Oh wait, because I don't. Okay, valid passports. There we go. This should be good. Yes, 190. Great. Then our refactoring is working. I can reuse the passports in the second part, which is what we wanted. One thing I'm going to do here as well is I can use array destructuring to actually say key and value. And key is equal, or key and value are not descriptive at all. Rename symbol, field ID. And we don't need the value anyway. Still working. Awesome. Yeah. Part 2. Great. So we have the passports in here. Let's rename this to valid passports part 1. And then we'll have valid passports part 2 in here. Okay. We are going to do another filter. And we're going to have a lot of rules for each field. Passport. Let's log the data, see what we're dealing with here. Yeah, okay, same thing. So you know what would be nice? It would be nice if we just have this in an object. It would be so much easier if this would be an object. Why don't we do that? Why don't we transform this array to be an object? I know there's helper functions in Lodash. I wonder if I can quickly do this myself, or if I'm just gonna import a library. I haven't imported any external library so far. I've done everything by hand. Let's see. So I need to go through an array, and this should be pretty easy. Let's do that. Const key values. Key values. It's gonna be an object, and then passport. Actually, wait a second. Isn't there? Always forget. Let me go this. I know I remember I used to do a one-liner to do this. Yeah, now I remember. Array objects from entries. Yes, there is an actual function native method in JavaScript that allows me to do this. Object from entries. Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. Object from entries, passport. So that should give us the key values. We should have an object now, which is much easier to deal with. Yes, that's great. That's great. And then we don't need to do the sum anymore, because we can just access. Let me do that. Let me copy that in here. We can just say, okay, is CD is country ID present? Means key values CID, or just CID. Yeah, that's it. And then I can say Boolean. So then we get so we don't get the CID value, but we get the, yeah, much easier if we're dealing with an object. Okay, let's go to validating each field. We start with the first one, birth year. It needs to be 4 digits. Okay, I'll parse this into a number, and I'll assert that it's between these two values. Neat. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Now it's gonna make our life so much easier if we have an object. Okay. Um, mm, mm, mm. What I can do is I can just say if wait, let me do the parsing up top. Key values, or I can do it in if. I don't like the key values variable name. We can do better. Key values. What are these? Field. Continue ignore the CID field. Strict. Right. Okay. Field, and then. So the object keys are fields, and object values are data. What do they call it here? They don't give it any name. Valid field, valid values. Okay. Field value. Key values, field values. You know what? I can just say passport object, because that's what it is. It's a passport object. Great. Okay. And I'm going to get rid of this for now, or just comment it. Okay, let's do const passport object dot um, I actually remembered something. We can, before we do any validation of the individual fields, we can copy this from the previous part and assert that the value, the passport has all the values. If passport length is that, return true. So what we're doing here, we're first validating that the password has the required number of fields, has all the fields it needs, and then we're going to go for each field, we're going to validate their values. Yeah, that's what we want to do. Passport object, if passport object byr, that needs to be a number. Passport object byr equals number. Okay, then we don't need to do that in the conditional here. If it's bigger than 9020 and smaller or equal, not sure, is it or equal? At least, yeah, equal at most. Okay, that's including 2002. Then we have a valid birth year. What we can do, we can negate all of this. So you can say if it's smaller than 9020 or bigger, then it's invalid because we found our first invalid field, and that renders the whole passport invalid. Good. Let's go on with the second field, issue year, 4-digit at least. Okay, this is pretty similar. I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to say if it's less than 2010 and oh wait, issue year. Yeah. If it's less than 2010 or more than 2020, which is weird because it means a passport is issued in the future. But hey, maybe someone is cheating. So let's. But wait a second. Hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. Maybe someone is cheating. So we need to account for that as well. I haven't looked at the data. And then let's parse the number in here as well because it's we're dealing with a string now. As you can see, issue is a string. We need to make it a number. And integer. Okay, that should be good. Next, expiration year, kind of like same thing. Expiration year, EYR, yeah, EYR. If expiration year, what was it? At least 2020, at most 2030. So it's at least 2020. So if it's less than 2020 or at most 2030. So passports that are valid for longer than 10 years are invalid as well because they obviously fake because no passport is valid more than 10 years. So, all right. We're at the fourth field. We have a few more to go. Height. This one's a bit trickier. A number followed by either centimeters or inch. A number, so it can be a 2-digit number, can also be a 1-digit number, perhaps 2, 3 digits, not 4 digits. And followed by cm or in for centimeters and inch. How are we gonna parse that? Do we have input example to work with here? 152 centimeters. What I do know is that the last two characters of the string are the measurement unit. So I can just grab it. I can say const measurement unit is passport object height. Can I slice a string? I'm sure I can. What is it called? String split? Not split. Slice. Substring or something? Yeah, no, it's substring. Oh, but string has also a slice method. Without modifying the original string. Yeah, awesome. So if if the beginning index is a minus, then it goes at the end, doesn't it? Beginning is treated as strings. It's not a number. I think. Let's run a quick test. We have 152 centimeters. Slice minus 2. What does this give us? Centimeters. Awesome. Yeah. If it's inches, whatever. Yeah. Okay. That's what I need. Slice 2. Measurement units. Slice minus 2. Good. We got the measurement unit, and actually we want to get we do want to modify the string in place because whatever we did is remaining, that's going to be our number, and it can vary. It can be 2 or 3 digits. So we need to find a different method that modifies the string. Let's see, what can we use here? Search small split. We have 3 methods here: substring. What does the first one do? Is deprecate it. Okay, that's not what we need. Substr returns a portion of the string starting at the specified index and extending for a given number of characters afterwards. Oh, but wait a second. I do know. Nah. Again, I could use regex here to extract these, but I'll try to avoid regex if I can. Starting at the specified index and extending for a given number of characters afterwards. It does not modify the string in place, does it? A new string? No. What does substring do? Returns the part of the string between the start and end at the end of the or the end of the string. A new string. Okay, but let's see. Perhaps we can use one of these to extract the number. So what is this to 1, 3, a part of the string, or you say skip 2 and then everything at the end. Okay. We want to have everything at the beginning up to a certain point. Can we do that? Can we use, does substring accept a negative value? An argument that is less than 0 is treated as if it were 0. It does not. What does substring do? 1, 2. If length is a negative number, it's treated as 0. Same thing. Will I have to use regex? Wait. No, I don't. I can just say const measurement now. What do we call this? This is a measurement unit. What's the 152 measurement value? I'm happy with that. We can just oh, passport object, that's wrong. We need to get the height. Okay, so I can just say passport object dot height replace measurement unit. So we just remove the measurement unit from it, and then we have, yeah, then we have the actual value. We can parse it into a number. Yep, no regex. Happy days. And then what's the what does it say? If it's centimeters, it must be at least 150, at most 193. Okay, we're gonna have two ifs. If measurement unit equals centimeters, then we can put it in here, and measurement value. No, I'm gonna nest them. I'm gonna nest them in here. It's more readable. Measurement value is less than how long? 150. Must be at least 150. So the person must be at least 150 centimeters. If the person is smaller, it's not allowed to fly. And if it's too tall, it's not allowed to fly either. Which I'm pretty sure a lot of people are taller than 193. At least I come from the Netherlands. We have tall people here. I think we're the second tallest nation in the world, country. And so I have quite some friends that are taller than 1 meter 93. So if the person is taller than this, then too bad. And then measurement unit is inches. Then we have different values. Just gonna copy this from here, and 5976. 5976. Why won't just the whole world move to imperial unit system? Why do we need to deal with inches and pounds and so on? Measurement unit. Okay, I think we're good here, aren't we? Let me check another time. If it's this, otherwise if it's this, okay. I can just do an else as well. Because if it's not going to be centimeters, it's going to be inches. Doesn't really matter, but I'm going to do it in else if so we can see that they belong together. Okay, on to the next field. Hair color. We got hair color, eye color, and passport ID left, and then we can test our answer. A hashtag followed by exactly 6 characters between 0 and 9 or E and F. We'll have to use a regex for this one. Yeah, it's much easier. Let me pull up an example here. So if passport object hair color match, is match the function we're looking for? Oh, I got it. No, here. Where is it? Match. Retrieve the result. No. Search. I want to get a boolean preferably. I want to assert against the regex. I know I can do that using with the regex prototype. I'm just gonna see if I can find a method for the string prototype. Bold concat ends with fixed font size. Match all. Nope. Search no. Strike. What does strike do? I'm just curious. Oh, deprecated. Okay. Never heard about strike before. Okay, no, I think we need to go with the regex prototype here. Here. And it needs to say test. Returns true or false. That's what we need. So how does it work? Okay, we can have the regex in here, and we'll say test, and the hair color is going to be our input, and the regex goes in here. Now I need to decide, am I going to write a positive regex or a negative one? What's easier? I can just negate it. Yeah, I'm going to write a positive one, and then I'm going to negate it. Let's pull up my favorite regex debugger tool, regex101.com, and I'm going to use this. As an example while we write our regex. So it needs to start with a hashtag, and then it needs to be followed by how many? 6 characters, exactly 6 characters. Oops, back here, 6. I think this is the syntax, 6 characters. This is the end of the string, and then it needs to be anywhere between 0 and 9 or A and capital, no, A, wait. Oh, so all lowercase. So I guess if you have uppercases, those are not invalid. Okay. I think this is our regex. The caret asserts the position at the start of the line. Match a single character present in the list below. Quantifier exactly 6 times. Okay. So and then okay. So the string needs to start with a hashtag. And then it needs to match whatever is inside these brackets exactly 6 times. And inside those brackets is any digit between a 0 and 9. Single character. No. Well, is the same, I guess. Digit or character. I think the shortcut is here a D, like D, a digit. Same thing. Yeah, same thing. I'm just gonna stick to 09. Yeah, and then A and F, single character in between A and F. And then what is the assert position at the end of the line? Yeah, beginning and end. Wait, I'm using PHP here, JavaScript, no differences. Okay. Let's paste our regex in here. And we'll find out later if it's right or not when we debug, but I hope it works. Okay, down to the last two fields. I color exactly one of these. That's easy. That is easy. What I used to usually do is I make an array. I flip it around. So instead of saying, hey, I color find, I'm just doing an array with these values. At some point in my programming career, I stumbled upon this way of asserting whether, like, if you have an array of strings and if you want to see if either of those values are present in a string, this is a neat way to do that. I have a syntax error somewhere here. Let me see. Oh, here I'm missing a single quote. Yeah. So yeah, basically we're saying, hey, this is our iColor. We create an array with the valid values, and then we say, does it include this value? If it finds it in any, if this value is any of these, then it's true. Otherwise not. It's true. Otherwise not. So we negate it, and we need to negate this as well. Okay, last one, passport ID, 9-digit number including leading zeros. We can just do passport object dot PID length equals 9, or does not equal 9. 9-digit number, yeah. And then ignored, missing, or not. Let's see if we need to do anything with the country ID. I commented this one out, is present. Well, oh, I think this needs to be at the top here. Yeah, because we're using it in this conditional, so our program's gonna fail. We need to move this way. I always get the wrong shortcut for moving lines. Yep, move this at the top because we're gonna use it there. Good. This looks pretty good. Let's see what we have so far. I've been optimistic every time I'm logging the program answer for the first time. Like, yeah, this is overconfident. The typical overconfident programmer. Yeah, this is right. I thought so much about coming up with this solution. I'm sure this is good. But every time I find out I'm not correct in my answer, I'm getting more and more skeptical of my solution. So now I'm going to be more realistic. Probably is not the correct answer, but we should be somewhere in the vicinity of a correct answer. Let's go ahead and log it. We get an error first. Oh wait, because of course we're accessing it up here. Let's move this one up to the top as well. Good. Slice of undefined, 45, column 46. Wait a second. Undefined. Why did it get past here? Because Let me think. Let me think. Oh, wait a second. Oh, I see what I'm doing wrong. Um, if password length, yeah, I need to flip this around. I need to flip this around. If password length is smaller than 7, or password length is equal to 7, but CID is not present. Wait a second, is present? Return false. Let me see if I'm doing this right. The passport is not valid if it has less than 7 fields, or if it does have 7 fields, but missing. Okay, let's try this again. Again, slice of undefined. Did I misspell the height? HGT. No, I did not. Less than 8. Try it again. Because we should never get to the point that any of these values are undefined. We should catch that in here, because after this point we should have all the field required to actually assert that they have the valid value. So something is not right in our assertion here. I'm gonna go over this again. I'm gonna reason about this again before I debug what's going on. Passport.length. So if wait. Yeah, we're using we have an array. Yeah, we have an object here, but we're only using that later on. So length 7. So we have 6 fields. If you have less than 7 fields, then go in here in this conditional, and then we return so we don't continue. Or if it's less than 8, if password length is 8, then it's valid, so it's not going to go in here. If it's less than 8, which means it's 7 because it's not here, it's not less than 7, and CID is not present. Oh, CID is present. Okay. Yes. Okay. It's always Boolean logic. Why is it so hard wrapping your head around? Okay. And then I need to log. Wait. Oh, I already see what's wrong. Or not. Don't see what's wrong. We don't have any valid passwords. Okay, 0. At least we got over that issue, so that's good. Oh, and at the end, I need to return true, of course. If we get all the way down to the end, we passed all the tests, we have a valid password. 122 passports, the moment of truth, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to test the first possible answer for the second part, 1 hour, 15 minutes into the stream. Is it correct? Is it not correct? It's not correct. That's why I'm always skeptical of my first attempt. Okay, somewhere in here we are not doing the right thing. How are we going to figure out which one it is? I'm going to reason about every single thing, see if I missed something on the first run, and then before actually debugging and console logging stuff. 9020 2002, at least 9020, at least 9020, and at most 2002. Okay, that looks good. Same here, 2010, 2020, 2010, 2020. At least, also same here, 2020, 2030. Okay, less than, bigger than, the signs look correct, or the conditional is good. Okay, next thing, measurement units. 150, 193, so it needs to be between 150 and 193. If it's outside of those bounds, if it's less than or bigger than, it's not valid. Okay, same with the inches, 5976. Okay, that looks good. The regex, I'm pretty confident about the regex, but I'm not sure if I got the negation right. Well, test. It's gonna match it. If it's not match, if it doesn't match, is it false? Okay, that the negation is good. Let's move on to the next one. Exactly one of these: amp, blue, brown, gray, green, hazel, auth. I don't know what auth stands for. If I includes, if does not include, so that's what the negation stands for. If the eye color does not include any of these, then it's false. Okay, that looks good. And passport PID dot length is not equal to 9, a 9-digit number, including leading zeros. So if it's 10 or if it's 8, it's invalid. If it does not equal to 9, false. Yeah. Ignored. Yeah. Okay, this looks all very good. I'm going to log the valid passports at the end. And see if I can spot anything in here. Wait, I forgot. What was it? Was our answer too low or too high? Let me type it in again. Too high. Okay, so that means some passports are passing through that are not valid, that should be considered invalid. Okay. Then we know what to look for. Keep that in mind. Birth year. Birth year. I mean, going through this by hand is just, I hope we're gonna spot anything. Heights. These are all valid. PID, 9 digits. Yeah, I'm just going through this by hand, see if I can spot anything, a password that's invalid if I'm lucky. If I am lucky. Chat, if you spot anything, let me know. Let me know as I go through this list. CID, what do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have all the fields. CID doesn't matter, we ignore it. Do we though? Yeah, I think so. Ignore it, missing or not. Yeah, we ignore it. Eye color, birth year looks good. Issue year, expiration year, 2030. At most 2030, yeah, so that's still valid. Height, 67 inches. Yeah, that's good. This is a valid hex number too. Yeah, going on. Which passport in here? So one or more of these 122 passports that we have here is or are invalid. We need to find it. Which one is it? And then we need to correct the logic in our program to mark it as invalid. Is this valid hex? It is. Blue, height. Yeah, the old. So let's how we solve this faster. Green, passport ID. Okay. Lars says that check height examples described in the text. Height valid, 60-inch height valid, 190 centimeters, height invalid, 190, height invalid, 190. I think you might be on the right path here. Yeah. Okay. What I'm not doing is, if there's a height that I see, else. So measurement unit, we grab the measurement unit. If the measurement unit is centimeters or inches in here, but if there's a height, indeed, yeah, if we have this one, height, without a measurement unit, then measurement unit is going to be 90, which is invalid. So we need to return false in here. Thank you very much for that, Lars. That is indeed the tip to the right. And it was just one password. Imagine me going through all this list and then finding that single password that does not have a measurement unit. I would have not have spotted that without console logging every field and then going to the fields. Yeah, good one. Anything else that I missed in here with the height? The height is tricky. I knew height would be tricky. Let's see. If it's centimeters, the value needs to be between those range. If it's inches, it needs to be between that range. If the measurement unit is anything else, bogus, is not valid. Okay, let's try this answer. Were we off by 1? We were. Right answer, we did it. Day 4, we got our 2 stars. With 8 in total now. Yay, thank you very much, Lars. That was really helpful and really smart of you to point me into the right direction, not giving me the straight answer right away. That's good example of not spoiling the answer, but letting the person solve it by themselves. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We got our 2 gold stars for today. I think we are good to go for boarding the airplane. Or maybe not, we're just passed through security. Maybe there's going to be more huffles at the airport we need to solve. But either way, we're one step closer to reaching our tropical island and collecting 50 stars to pay the deposit for our room. Advent of code is 25 days. We finished day 4, so we've got 21 days left. I think we can, what I'm going to do before closing this stream is I'm going to upload the solution to the repository so you can have a look as well. Git status, git commit, day 4, solved. Git push origin main. And the answer should be in here. Yep, it's in here. I'm going to paste the link in the chat so you can have a look for the people that are watching later on, the recap of the stream. You can have a look of these at the solutions in this repository and pick in the code. Lars is mentioning that there might be a bug for PID. In the code, it checks that PID is length 9, which is not a specification. Let me check that. We did get the right answer, but it just might be lucky because we did not get an input that we might just be lucky because of our input. Oh, wait a second. What am I doing here? Okay. Let me check. Passport object PID length 9. A 9-digit number. Right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not asserting that it's a number. That could be, yeah, very good one. Yeah, because if the password ID has letters, but it is 9 characters long, the string, I'm going to consider it as valid as well, while it's not valid. Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. I can make my program more foolproof by accounting for that case as well. How I'm gonna approach this? I'm gonna need to take into account the leading zeros as well. So let's say we have a passport ID that's like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it considers it a binary. I can use parse int and say it's a decimal number. Doesn't parse int work like that? I usually don't use parse int. I use number to typecast, but base. So we get the, oh, wait a second, it needs to be a string. Okay, I'll just string. Okay, decimal. Okay, that's good. So if we're gonna get the letter in here somewhere, it's gonna return 0, 0, 0, 0. What does number return? D 0, 1, 0. None. And oh, actually number does a job. I think number assumes it's decimal by default anyway. Yeah, I'll just stick to not using number. And it's return value, an integer passed from the given string. If the radix is smaller than 2 or bigger than 36, and the first known white space character cannot be converted to a number, none is returned. Oh, that's parse int. What is returned? None. Why doesn't... I'm saying what I don't understand. I'm saying this is a decimal number, should be parsed as a decimal number, and then I give it a character, a letter, and it returns 0. It should return not a number. Oh, how many? Oh, perhaps no. I don't. Yeah, something weird is going on there. I'm going to use number. A regex for this is easier than hair color. Might be. I might be too stubborn about not using regexes. Yeah, it is very, yeah. I'm gonna use a regex. Then let's grab our input here. So we need to assert that the string only has digits. Is this from beginning? Wait, if there's not a digit, if we get a match, then it's not valid. Yeah, that's good. Anything else? It does. Okay, good. Then we can just say if passport object if the passport ID is not 9 digits long, or passport object dot PID test, or it contains a digit, then a non-digit. If this returns, or if this returns true, then also false. Okay, same answer. I think we're good here. We could we could adjust our input really quickly with an invalid passport. See if we wait a second. Let's get a valid here. This looks like a valid and then say, replace this with a character. Does it add? No, still 129. If it's a different one, 121 I mean, 121. Oh, that's not valid at all. Yeah, but okay, no, I need to get grab a valid passport. Let me log it. Console log valid passport part 2. First one. First one. Yep. PID here. Let me find it in the input. Okay, here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate this, and I'm going to say, hey, this. Okay, what does it say? What does it say? Do we still get the same number of valid passports? We do. And if I add a valid passport to the list, is it 122 now? It is 122. Okay, so our validation method is working. Good. Thank you for pointing that out to me, Lars. Appreciate it. Even though we passed the challenge, the input was we were lucky with our input, and given a different input, our program would still be wrong. So with this assertion here for the passport ID, that needs to be all digits. We accounted for those edge cases that were not present at the input. Great. I'm going to add. I'm going to push this, commit this change as well. Fixed passport ID validation. I'm gonna mention you in the commit message, giving some attribution there, and then push origin main. Good. Should be in here. All right. So that's it, folks. I think I've pasted the GitHub in the link in the chat. Good. Yeah. Thank you for watching today. Appreciate you sticking around and keeping me company. There's not going to be a stream tomorrow on Saturday or on Sunday this weekend. I'm going to take a break from streaming, but I will be solving the challenges on my own so that next week on Monday we can continue with day 7. With day 7 of Advent of Code. On Monday, I'm gonna spend the first part of the stream recapping, going through my solutions that I came up with in the weekend for days 5 and 6, and then we're gonna continue with day 7. So no stream tomorrow, but and the next stream is gonna be on Monday, same time, 10 a.m. Central European time. I'm looking forward to seeing you there and continuing our journey to the tropical island this year with Advent of Code 2020. Thank you again for being on the stream, watching along, and keeping me company. I hope to see you next Monday. Bye bye.